Do you know the plus-size traveler, Jae Bae? Well, let me introduce you to her.
Ridiculed, humiliated, or even removed from flights because of their size. It's a common fear among the plus-size community, and it's absolutely unacceptable. Join my petition calling on the FAA to require all airlines to have a written official customer of size policy for plus-size travelers. This policy will provide accessible additional seats, clear communication, reimbursement, accommodations, and employee training. As my petition states, all plus-size passengers should be provided with an additional seat or 2 or 3 depending on their size and need during a flight for comfort. Under this policy, airlines should also offer a straightforward refund process for those who are buying additional seats independently. Under this policy, employees must be trained to handle sensitive situations and provide appropriate customer service. Sign this petition to demand that airlines take concrete steps towards making...
Yeah, that's her. Pretty amazing. Oh boy, here we go. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching my other videos in this video. Today we're talking about plus size traveler Jae Bae. I came across a video from Obese to Beast, and I want to comment on a few things and look through it and talk about her. So let's go.
The channel, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Jae Bae once again. We talked about her relatively recently. If you're not familiar, Jae Bae is a plus size influencer that does a lot of videos. Basically, almost their whole page is dedicated to plus size travel, and they have had quite a few.
Anybody who doesn't know, Obese to Beast, John was formerly a morbidly obese man, and now he is a fitness bodybuilder person. He lost like a ridiculous amount of weight, and he tries to help out people, and he does commentary on fat positive and fat individuals who, well, it's more like he calls them out because he, in a very polite way, I should say. And so he's talking about Jae Bae, who is a fat traveler, and there's a lot of things that I agree with him on because she's kind of a menace to society, like my thumbnail says.
Different experiences that weren't the greatest that they have made a lot of TikToks kind of talking about. Most recently, we talked about an experience they had at the airport where they claimed that basically an attendant at the airport refused to push them in a wheelchair and made them walk, and they were wheezing and their lips turned blue and they felt like they were about to pass out, and it was this really terrible experience, and they made a whole video about that. And
I heard about this story, and I'm just curious if anybody watching this video is a flight attendant or works at an airport, if there's a weight limit in terms of when you apply for a job. I know, for example, when I apply for catering jobs, they always say, can you lift 75 pounds? Obviously, Jae Bae is not 75 pounds. She's like over 300 pounds. And I wonder if there's kind of like insurance reasons why people are like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to get hurt and be on the mend, and possibly there isn't any benefits for them to doing that. So I wonder about that. But I also wonder if she's lying just to be more dramatic and get more attention and eyes on her. Let's see.
And so, even before that, they had a whole whole campaign trying to get people to sign this petition to, make airports and stuff like that more accessible. So that was kind of the first thing, and then that thing that we just talked about happened, and then now these things are happening. And so, what am I talking about? Well, we are going to be talking about this TikTok mostly, and this was uploaded pretty recently, about 3 days ago, and they kind of share another bad experience that they claim that they had at Chicago O'Hare Airport. So without further ado, I'll kind of let her just kind of share her experience.
Recently, I had a distressing experience at Chicago O'Hare Airport. As a plus-size ambulatory wheelchair user, I faced a significant challenge when trying to get to baggage claim. The only option was to go through a revolving door. We pressed the button to slow it down for people with disabilities, but as soon as we entered, we got stuck. I'm claustrophobic and began to panic, frantically motioning to the staff for help. They just stared at me, offering no assistance.
So basically claiming that the staff at the airport saw that she and I'm assuming it's her fiance that she's speaking about, were stuck, and they just were laughing and snickering and decided not to do anything. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, at this point, I really don't believe that this is happening. Again, that's just my opinion, because it is too perfect that someone whose entire social media presence is about plus size travel is having these crazy experiences, and then of course making videos about that. And then on top of it, with the amount that she films herself walking into the airport, walking it down the aisles. She's always filming herself doing these things at airports specifically, right? Like, so many videos at airports specifically. And there is never video about these things that are happening, especially the last one where she was talking about how, like, it was this long drawn out thing that happened. I don't understand why she wouldn't film that, right? If that's such a huge thing that is, that happens, and it was this huge thing that took forever and it was happening over a long period of time, why would you not, like, especially, clearly she cares about content, clearly she cares about filming this stuff. Why would she not film that, right? So at this point, I feel bad saying it, but I just don't believe what she's saying.
A passerby noticed our struggle and tried to help, but the airport staff remained unresponsive. This was my...
I agree with John, and here's the thing. If this happened at a public place like an airport, why wasn't there videos of other people seeing this happening to her? Why didn't she film herself, but why wasn't there videos? If something like this happened at an airport, people would take out their phones. We live in post 9/11 America, where anything that happens in an airport is a big deal. Also, why wasn't it on the local news? I would feel like if it was on the local news, her supporters would have, like, plastered it all over TikTok or social media. So to me, I agree with John. I just don't believe it, because she doesn't have footage. It wasn't on the news. Other people don't have footage. Her supporters don't have footage. So why would she do it? Just to get more eyes on her, like I said previously. Lying about these things, when obviously it's just her own entitlement, is easier to do than actually taking accountability for yourself.
Second terrible experience at O'Hare during just one trip.
So again, and this is what I said in my last video, I think it's interesting that if these things actually happened, I think because, and this is the danger in my opinion of like getting really entrenched in health at every size and making your entire online persona and personality about being, plus size, is that it's almost impossible to have this type of experience and think to yourself, maybe I need to make some changes, because this, like, not being able to walk, the first video that we talked about in the past, not being able to walk down an airport, runway or whatever, that should be a sign that, hey, like, there's something going on. Like, there's, like, some change that needs to happen. And the dangers of health at every size is that there's just this prevalent feeling of that it's impossible to lose weight, right? Being so overweight that you are now disabled, right? Which is what she claims. That is the same as someone being disabled because they got into an accident or what they were born without, function.
For people like this who can make changes to their body and improve their situation, to take resources away from actual disabled people. There's not enough resources for disabled people out there. Trust me, it's really sad and unfortunate.
Limbs. And that's dangerous in my opinion, because there is change that can be made there. Like, Jae Bae is not in a position where she can't do anything about her weight. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what all the people in the health at every size place say. They all, it's impossible. It's only 1% or only 2% or only 5%.
Fat positivity only hurts themselves. So many people in that community have died because they haven't wanted to change. And it's always like, I can't do it. John, Obese to Beast, is a testament to losing all that weight. I've seen so many people online that are testaments to that. It's not true. I don't know why they feed themselves this BS, but it's not true. And yeah, they need to make changes.
Discrimination is the same as being discriminated against because of your race or being actually disabled or anything like that, right? So, like, I say that a lot, and I feel like maybe people haven't seen that, but this video is literally her basically making that claim, right?
ridiculous comment claiming discrimination is only about race, religion, or sex, not weight. Seriously, let's set the record straight about weight-based discrimination. Discrimination is the unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people, especially on the grounds of ethnicity.
I just think that I'm just thinking about the fact that she just had a phone pointed at her this entire time. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of funny to me.
Age, sex, disability, and or wait for it, wait. Weight-based discrimination, or weight stigma, is the discriminatory treatment of people based on their size and weight. It can lead to exclusion, margin.
I feel like it's the individuals who've never been discriminated against that always are the first ones to scream that's discrimination. Ma'am, Jae Bae, ma'am, you have never been discriminated against. You put yourself in this situation by eating and by not exercising. There is no reason for you to scream discrimination. You've never had it happen to you. You did this to yourself. You did this to yourself.
To do and really think to yourself, is there something I can do about changing this? And I think the most dangerous part about health at every size, fat acceptance, is they have tricked people into believing there is nothing you can do about it. You are the way you are, and it's not your fault. It has nothing to do with what you've done, and it's everyone else's fault, and they need to fix themselves because you're completely fine and there's nothing wrong with you. When we know being significantly overweight to the size that Jae Bae is, where you are not able to move freely, has a huge detriment onto your health.
FYI, some states and cities actually have laws against weight-based discrimination. There are also advocacy groups out there fighting for more protections. Weight-based discrimination often intersects with other biases. Imagine being judged for your race and weight at the same time. It amplifies the impact and makes life even harder for those already facing multiple forms of discrimination. Weight-based discrimination is real and harmful, so instead of spreading misinformation, educate yourself. Google is free, and remember, ignorance isn't bliss, it's just lazy.
So again, I've kind of said everything that I need to say about that video. And then
Thank you, John, for giving us so much knowledge and being so kind with your words. I feel like, just to round up the video, I feel like people like Jae Bae, like I said in my thumbnail, she's a menace to society. She's very dangerous. People in the fat positive movement are very dangerous too, because they spread these lies and this misinformation, and they encourage young women to destroy their bodies and not understand how important it is to keep fit. Right now, I'm in a weight loss journey, and I wish I had more people like John in my life to kind of steer me in the right direction. Unfortunately, I had a lot of fat positive people in my ear, and now I got myself in a place where I'm not disabled, but I wish I had more flexibility. I wasn't as tired and fatigued, but I'm working on it. I'm eating better, I'm exercising, and I feel so much better, and that's what's important. At the end of the day, health is one of those treasures. I think it's more important than time and money. Your health is so critical. I've seen so many people growing up, like my own mother and father, who are on a bag of pills because they didn't take care of themselves. And at the end, they kind of became disabled because of their ailments. If they could have had someone kind of show them what needed to be done, it could have been different. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay sassy.